Hi, this is Roy Nelson, and you're watching Everything Martial Arts.
So Roy, it's really funny. The whole segment that we're doing is about training partners.
Okay.
Yeah? And it's about knowing somebody and training with somebody. And you know Frank Mir. You've trained with him. And now you're fighting him again. So talk about the kind of the process that goes into a familiar person in a familiar fight.
The one thing is we've definitely been in the fight business for a very long time together. So, but I mean, everybody in here is probably trained one way or another with each other, just because MMA is still a small group.
Yeah. And Glenn was telling me the whole process that he had coached Frank before. So you know each other. Is there any tricks or secrets you have to hide, or you just go in there doing what you do best?
I think like fight wise, you just go out there and just you just be you. I mean, the last time we trained together is probably like 7 years ago. So like definitely he's gotten better and I've gotten better, and we're just different people, fighters.
We talked years ago. This is, I don't know, he was fighting Overeem. You guys were on the same card. I forget. I know John Jones was headlining. And you said, look, and I think that people forget about my submissions just because I like the knockouts, and you like the knockouts because you like the crowd reaction. Has any of that changed at all for you?
No, I definitely still fight for the fans. I still try to go for the W, but fans are what pays the bills.
And what's fight camp like for you?
You got your ups, you got your downs, you got your bumps, your bruises, and then hopefully at the end of the day you're like, hey, can I compete?
How would you describe the last fight with Frank, just to refresh people's memory?
Last fight, Frank I had walking pneumonia, and he had worm nutrition. I was just so tired, and he just beat the shit out of me.
All right, so now you don't have walking pneumonia, and you feel like you're in great shape.
I feel like we can rock and roll.
Because there's so many skills that you have to work on. Skills are also perishable. How do you kind of time manage a training camp based off of what you feel like you need to do for a particular fighter?
Usually I don't worry about what the other fighter's doing. I'm just going to go out and go, what do I do best? And I have to just keep refining those tools. If there's something like I'm weaker at, then I just try to work those tools.
So Frank, for example, was saying that this time around he really thinks it's about strength and conditioning and being the better fighter in terms of being in shape. What are your thoughts on that?
I would definitely, he's thinking grind, so that's definitely a grind mentality, and any heavyweight division, it doesn't matter if it was me or not, that's something that's definitely going to win.
You guys know where your specialties are and how good you are on the ground. Where do you think you have the advantage?
I think advantage-wise, I don't think there's really an advantage. I think it just goes out and, put it all out there. I mean, he's a legend of the sport, and I'm just happy to be here.
If there was any art that you could study besides MMA, what would you do?
Besides MMA, Kung Fu's always been my heart and soul.
Really? Why so?
Because Shaolin Kung Fu has everything. It has grappling, it has strikes. It's basically the first MMA.
So when you're not doing MMA, do you ever do Kung Fu forms or anything like that?
Back in the day, that's what got me into actually MMA was me doing Kung Fu. So I just the reason why I like Kung Fu is also the history. Right. Just where it all came from. Do
you ever feel that a little bit of the martial arts has been taken away because it's mostly combat sports now in the media and pop culture?
No, because traditional martial arts still thrive within that community. And MMA was never in that community.
Right. Okay, so you're able to kind of separate.
It's definitely the thing is I wish traditional martial arts would try to go into the MMA community, but traditional's like no, that's them, that's us. Kind of like it's like doing softball and baseball. Like, well, we're baseball, that's softball.
Where do you want this to go? I mean, you've pretty much done everything at this point.
I think the only thing in Bellator that I need to get to is the belt, fight for the belt. Win, lose, and then kind of go from there.
What do you think would be your after MMA career?
After MMA career, either commentating, movies, just still entertaining, teaching, all those things, because I'm always teaching and always a student of the game. So for me, it's teaching, being a student, and then probably commentating, or at least some type of entertainment.
The last question I'll ask you is, what is your favorite martial arts movie? And you can tell me more than one.
Favorite martial art. I'm gonna just go with my two favorite that got me into martial arts is American Ninja and Karate Kid.
Karate Kid and American Ninja. Those are good. And actually, I don't hear American Ninja that often.
No, actually, it was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I met Michael Dudikoff.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I was doing a premiere for Kickboxer or whatever, and he came to me and he's like, "Oh, Roy, like you're awesome to watch, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "You're the one that got me into martial arts." And we both started crying. It was one of those like surreal moments because he was already a fan of mine, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm a fan of yours because you got me into martial arts." So
That's special. That is actually really special.
It was awesome. It hit me right here.
Yeah. Well, any movies coming up? Anything you want to do?
Right now, we're working on a couple.
I was hoping they would do Roadhouse, but like in a different spin on it, but that's not happening. You would be good in that.
I would, but I wouldn't be able to do a spin kick.
No? I bet you he pulls out a spin kick this weekend and he's lying to me right now.
No, I could do a spin kick.